My name is Joel Dillard. I am counsel for the Jackson Federation of Teachers, and I wanted to add to what Ms. Stout was saying. Current policy forbids all classified employees, the teachers' aides, the food service workers, it forbids them from having legal representation during a complaint or grievance about their working conditions or about their termination or suspension. It allows them to be fired for no reason at all. It allows them to be fired with no notice. And the only guidance in current policies about the penalties for the offenses that they may be accused of is in the smoking policy. There's a set of progressive discipline in the smoking policy, but there's no other policy guidance at all from the board about what kinds of issues are going to result in a suspension or a reprimand or what have you. And I'm urging the board to consider carefully adopting a progressive discipline policy that gives specific notice to employees of the kinds of issues that they could be disciplined for and what kinds of discipline they can expect for those issues, what range of discipline to expect. It would give guidance to the superintendent and decrease the amount of disputes that happen about what kind of discipline a person should get, because you've got a table of penalties that describes what you need to do. This is what happens in the federal government, this is what happens in the state government, this is what happens in our city government. All those employees, federal, state, and city, they all have due process rights, but not the classified employees of this school district. So, you know, in Mr. Lamonda's campaign, he said that this issue was important. Dr. Stout asked him about this, and I think it's very important for this board to do something. I think we should be in agreement about the basic principles that are behind this. Employees deserve to understand why they're being terminated. They deserve a reason when they're being terminated. They deserve an opportunity to say something about the reasons offered for their termination, and they don't have a real and effective way to do that under current policy, and it's something this board needs to change. I have provided the result of a very careful analysis of policies that reflects an understanding of the way things work in the federal government, the way things work in the state government and local government, that I would urge you to engage with, because this is something that the board can provide guidance on. Now, I understand that the accreditation standards say the board should not be sort of micromanaging the day-to-day decisions, but this is different. This is about the policy guidance, which is exactly the board's provenance. That's what this board is for, to provide policy guidance to the superintendent on how and why to discipline employees, what is appropriate for discipline and what's not, and what procedure to use. That's why there are already existing policies and procedures for a number of other things. So I would urge you to engage with this. I hope this will not be the last meeting at which this is discussed. I hope this is something the board can take real action on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dillard. That's very helpful. We appreciate this information that you provided that we can